सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चोपस्थपायो चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्। ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Humble prostrations to one and all. Our next topic is Meditation in Bhagavad Gita. So before getting into this meditation topic, we need to understand again some fundamental principles. So what is the essence of all our scriptures? The essence of the Vedas, the essence of the Upanishads, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is the same. There cannot be any difference because Bhagavad Gita is nothing but the essence of all scriptures, essence of all Upanishads. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandanaha partho vatsasudhir bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat. Yes. Sarvopanishado Gavaha. If all the Upanishads are the cows, the essence of the cow, the milk, is Bhagavad Gita. So now what is the essential message of all the scriptures? The essential message is Tat Tvam Asi. That God you are. Aham Brahma Asmi. I am that Brahman. This is the message. So therefore the purpose of life is also this, to know myself as I am. Who am I? I am that pure consciousness. Chidananda Rupaha Shivaha Aham. That most auspicious, that infinite consciousness, immortal consciousness, absolute consciousness, blissful consciousness, perfect consciousness, which we call God, I am. This is the purpose of life. This is the purpose of all sadhanas. If I am that infinite, immortal, supreme God, that consciousness, what is the mistake that I have done because of which at present I am not experiencing my perfection? If I am that, if that supreme state is my nature, I must be experiencing it. What is the mistake that I have done? So the scripture says, the mistake that we have done is, instead of identifying with consciousness, our identification is with our body. How did this identification come into existence? So the law in this world is, whatever you pay attention to, that you will get. Whatever you ignore, that you will not get. So what is the mistake we have done? We have ignored our true nature, the consciousness. Where is our attention now? Completely upon the body. Since our attention is upon the imperfect, limited, finite body, our experience is also limitation, imperfection, finitude. This experience of limitation is what is called as suffering. So therefore, anyone who is identified with the body, anyone who has ignored consciousness will be suffering. So therefore, 99.9999% of the people in this world are suffering. How much you ever beautiful your smile is outside, internally you are suffering. Because suffering is an effect. What is the cause? Self-ignorance is the cause. It is impossible that a person is self-ignorant and is blissful. No. So there is only one way in which we can gain this happiness. Know yourself as you are. How to do it? Start paying attention to who you are. Start paying attention to myself means what? Let me start paying attention to I in me. Okay. Let the ego fall. Let the false I fall and let the real I shine out. Any sadhana you do in this regard, that is true spiritual practice. Okay? This fundamental you should know. So now, what is my best friend in doing this sadhana? My own sattvic mind. So this is the purpose of meditation. What is the purpose of meditation? Purpose of meditation is only one, to know myself as I am. What is the instrument with which I meditate? I meditate with my mind. The physical body is not used. It is kept silent. In meditation, all our work is done by the mind. This mind is the instrument with which we meditate. Therefore, the instrument must be a perfect instrument, qualified instrument. And what is that qualification for this instrument called mind? Purity, or in the language of moods, we say a sattvic mind. So as we discuss this process of meditation, we will come to know how much a sattvic mind is absolutely essential for going deep within oneself. A gross mind, a rajasic, tamasic mind will get stuck in the outer levels of our personality. If we have to go deep into our personality, only a subtle, sattvic, pure mind alone can do it. Right. So this topic of meditation is covered in chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. Chapter 6, the name of the chapter itself is Dhyana Yoga, the yoga of meditation. So now we are discussing some of the core verses from chapter 6. In fact, we are discussing 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. This is the central theme of meditation. Okay, now let us chant verse number 24. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvana sheshatah manasaivendriya gramam viniyamya samantatah. So now, when we sit for meditation, so all those things are understood. Sit in a solitary place, sit in silence, sit straight, let your vertebra be erect. Sit in some asana which is very comfortable for you. Backbone is straight, perpendicular to the ground, eyes are closed. There is no sensory disturbances from the outer world. So then sit, then what you have to do? Manasa eva indriya gramam viniyamya samantatah. So when you sit with your closed eyes, what will you experience? Since you are coming from the outer world, those impressions will remain for some time. Those worldly impressions will remain. Whatever you have spoken, whatever you have seen, all those impressions will remain. It will take some time for it to settle. So what are you supposed to do? Slowly withdraw the attention from the outer world. Now the sense organs are all blocked. Do you need the sense organs in meditation? No. So just like the flying plane doesn't need the wheels, so what do the wheels do? They go inside. It is withdrawn. So just like a flying plane withdraws the wheels, in the same way, now we are going to fly at the seat of meditation. Not physically. We are going to take higher and higher. We are going to scale heights in meditation. So then sense organs have no role to play. So therefore eyes are closed. All the sense organs are withdrawn. Sense organs by themselves, they don't go out. It is the mind which goes out through the sense organs. Sense organs are nothing but gates. Gate doesn't go out. We go out through the gate, isn't it? In the same way, it is the mind which goes out through all these gates. So what do? Gates are shut. And this mind is withdrawn from all the gates. Manasa indriya gramam viniyamya. Viniyamya means withdrawn. Samantataha, from all sides. So karmendriyas are quiet. Jnanendriyas are quiet. Now what happens? A trouble happens. What is the trouble? Sankalpa prabhavan kaman starts troubling you. Kaman, desires. Sankalpa prabhavan, born out of, arising out of, sankalpa. So we have to first understand what this sankalpa is. Now see, the mind is designed for a purpose. It is programmed this way. What is the way? The mind is designed to take care of the welfare and well-being of the self. Welfare and well-being of I. That's how the mind is designed. So whatever your definition of I is, the mind will start making itself busy to protect the I, to make the I secure, to give it fulfillment, contentment, happiness, joy. Mind is designed that way. Whatever your definition of I is, mind will start making busy to make this I happy and secure. This is how it is designed. So therefore, in the dream, what is your I? Our I is dreamer I. Because the waker I is lying down on the bed, he has no problem. But in the dream when we enter, we have a dream identification with the dream body. My definition of myself is, I am this entity in the dream. So now how will the mind busy itself? The mind will busy itself fulfilling the desires of the dreamer I. The mind will go back and forth into the past, into the future. If only I get this, I'll be happy. If only I get that, I'll be happy. I should have done in the past this way, then I would have been happy. This is called sankalpa. Samyak kalpana. Kalpana means imagination. Kalpana means thinking. Thinking with a total faith that if this thing happens, I'll be happy. So that is samyak, very well. So what is our mind constantly doing? Constantly it is doing sankalpa. And therefore constantly this mind is doing sankalpa, and out of certain sankalpa, desires are born. So what is the function of the mind? Mind is designed, mind is programmed to take care of the welfare and well-being of I. If your definition of I is the dreamer I, then the mind will try to take care of your welfare in the dream for that individual I. But the moment you wake up, then what happens? Now your I has changed. You are no more the dreamer I, you are the waker I. Your definition about yourself has changed. Now what will happen to the worrying, dreaming mind? Silence. The moment you wake up, suppose in the dream you are chased by a lion. You are running, tensed, worried, anxious. What to do? Should I climb some tree? Should I jump into water? And suddenly you wake up. Then what happens? The mind was constantly planning to protect oneself. What happens to that mind? Suddenly becomes silent. Yes or no? Because now the problems are not there. That I has disappeared. That world has disappeared. The situation has changed. So for some moment, the dreaming I, the worrying mind, the dreaming mind becomes silent. Because now there are no problems. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? So after waking up, you will always find that there is silence for some time. Because mind is slowly coming to term with the new I. And after waking up, again it starts, sankalpa. Why? Because this waker I has its own problems. Now I have to go to the office. Arey Baba, boss is waiting there. I have not done my project. I don't know what is he going to say. Family problems. Now again the mind becomes busy. Mind becomes busy in taking care of the welfare and well-being of this I. Now, if my definition of I is this body, if my definition of I is I am this body, body will have certain physical problems. So what will be the mind doing? Mind will be constantly trying to find solution for these physical problems. Mind will be constantly finding solution for the emotional problems of this entity. It will be constantly trying to find intellectual solution for the intellectual problems. Various kinds of problems related to that entity I. So this constant chattering of the mind, blabbering of the mind, in order to make this I safe and secure and happy and fulfilled and contented, this blabbering is called sankalpa. Is it clear? Now let us see. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman. At the seat of meditation, mind is constantly chattering. It is thinking about so many things, beings and situations in the world. This is called a chattering mind. This is the mind which we all will face when we sit at the seat of meditation and look within. First, you will encounter a chattering mind. If you are not sleeping, the first obstacle is sleep. If you are awake, you will find that the mind is chattering. Many times we are so one with the chattering mind that we are not even aware that the mind is chattering. That is also identification. But then slowly you come to know that mind is just going on chattering. You can call it hallucination, you can call it blabbering, you can call it wool gathering, you can call it planning, plotting, whatever it is. Constantly the mind is making noise. And that noise you see in the form of thoughts. Why is the mind so noisy? The mind is so noisy because according to the mind, the definition of I is this imperfect body, limited body, insecure body. And this entity has got lot of aspirations, lot of plannings to become more happy. Because this entity is miserable. At present it is not secure. At present it is not happy, not contented. There are so many things which the mind thinks, if this happens, I'll be happy. At least I'll be more happy. This thing should not have happened. Should not happen. So constantly this mind is either in the past or in the future. What are the mistakes in the past which I have done because of which today I am suffering? What are the corrections which I should do in the future so that I can improve my life? Improve that happiness content in me. This is the way mind is constantly functioning. This This, what you call, effort of the mind is expressed as this constant noise, constant chattering. Okay? So now, at the seat of meditation, when you see this, what is the instruction given to us? Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvan asheshata. Completely ignore this chattering. Don't listen to it, because it is a meaningless chattering. Sarvan, all of them, tektva. Exactly like, suppose your son or a daughter sleeping is blabbering in sleep. What do? Tyaktva sarvana sheshata. Why? Because the problem with that son or daughter is encountering, actually there is no such problem. It is all the problem of the dream. It is unreal. It is meaningless. It is illusory. So just like how you ignore the blabbering of a sleeping person, in the same way, just ignore the blabbering of this mind. Then what am I supposed to do? See the next verse. Verse number 25. Shanai shanairuparamit buddhya dhriti grihitaya atma samstham manah krutva na kinchidapi chintayet. This will happen shanaihi, slowly, slowly. Be patient with your mind. You can't quieten the mind. You need not quieten the mind also. The blabbering will continue. Don't pay any attention to it. What are you supposed to do? Uparamit. Gather yourself. Slowly turn the attention of the mind where Atma Samstham Manaha Krutva. Turn the attention of the mind to the very consciousness in you. Which consciousness? That very consciousness because of which you are conscious of this, of these thoughts. There is this noisy mind. Mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. You are seeing so many thoughts there. Shift your attention from the thoughts to the consciousness because of which you are aware of these thoughts. This is the meaning Atma Samstham Manakrutva. Turning your attention to the awareness because of which you are aware of your thoughts. But how to do it? Buddhya dhruti grihitaya. You should turn the attention of your mind to that consciousness using your buddhi. Buddhi means what? Intellect. What kind of buddhi? Dhruti grihitaya. Strong buddhi. Firm buddhi. How to strengthen our buddhi? So the mind is going outward. With the intellect, you are bringing the mind inward. Remember, through all these blabbering thoughts, mind is trying to go outward. Because what is the understanding of the mind now? If I want to be happy, the environment has to be conducive. This is the basic philosophy. The body, the mind, intellect, all these entities, if I have to be happy, I have to be in a conducive environment. I should be exposed to favorable things, beings and situation. How can I make the things, beings and situation favorable? This is the way the mind is chattering. What should the intellect do? Bring this extroverted mind, the chattering mind, the blabbering mind, turn its attention towards the self, towards I, towards consciousness. But to do this, buddhi must have a qualification. Because otherwise buddhi cannot bring the mind back. Because if the mind is stronger, it will drag the buddhi out. So buddhi should be so strong that it brings the mind back into the self. How to strengthen the buddhi? Through Shravanam, Mananam, and this process of Nididhyasanam is what is being described now. Only a person who has listened to the scriptures, understood the scriptures, reflected upon the scriptures, only such a person will have a firm buddhi, intellect. The strength of the intellect is knowledge. The strength of the intellect is conviction in knowledge, doubtless knowledge. That is the strength of the intellect. So therefore, when we are attending these study classes, etc., what are we doing? We are strengthening our intellect, gaining the information from the scriptures, discussing about it, contemplating about it, reflecting about it. Slowly, 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 all the doubts are cleared. And as the doubt becomes cleared, we get more and more conviction. Yes, I am not the body, I am consciousness. And the more and more the intellect is convinced that I am consciousness, the more and more the intellect is gaining strength in withdrawing the mind from the world, in helping the mind detach from the body. So therefore, what is the term used? Buddhya dhriti grihitaya. A firm buddhi, strong buddhi. Every time the mind raises a question or a doubt, buddhi has an answer to it. So now the mind cannot give an excuse to escape out. The ignorant mind escapes out into the world of things, beings, and situations, begging for happiness from the world. But with this strong intellect, now you are withdrawing the attention of the mind and now paying attention to the self. Atma samstham manakrutva na kinchit api chintayet. After that, don't think anything. So put in another words, in the beginning when you sit at the seat of meditation, there are all worldly thoughts. Replace those worldly thoughts by spiritual thoughts. This is how you bring intellect into picture. What all I have studied in the scriptures, something which has touched my heart, something which has resonated with me, bring all those verses, chant it. And this way, replace the spiritual thoughts with replace the worldly thoughts with the spiritual thoughts. And once you start bringing these spiritual thoughts, start contemplating upon the meaning of the spiritual thought. And every thought is directing towards the spirit, towards the self, towards consciousness. That is called Atma Samstham Manakrutva. Turn your attention to that consciousness. And once you find that the mind is abiding in consciousness, na kinchit api chintayet, then again don't disturb. As you are going into the subtler realm of yourself, drop the grosser ones. Then don't again come back to the gross. So if you find that yes, now the mind is going within, now the mind is abiding in consciousness. After that again loudly don't chant something. From the subtle don't go to the gross. That is the meaning, na kinchit api chintayet. Don't come down. Yes, if you are not able to go to the higher, then remain at the lower. But as you are going higher and higher, drop all the grosser techniques, practices, loud chanting, etc. But now and then the mind will go out. Because, why does it go out? Next verse. Verse number 26. Yato yato nischarati manaschanchalamassthiram tatastato niyamyaitat Atmanyeva vasham nayet. For so many births, not so many years, but so many births, this is the way we have lived. What is the way? Mind has always gone outside, seeking pleasures from the world. And therefore, what is the nature of the mind now? Chanchalam, asthiram, fickle. The nature of the mind is it is extremely fickle. It jumps from one thought to another without even your awareness. Chanchalam, asthiram. This is the nature of the mind. So therefore, every meditator will face this problem. What is it? Every time you are trying to go within, it will again go outside. Which are the places it will go? To those things where you are attached, to those beings whom you are attached, situations. So these things, beings and situations, wherever raga dvesha is there, mind will go there. It is not going to some strange place or anything. No. It is going to those places where our addictions are. And that is why sattvic mind is very, very important. See here. Only the sattvic mind can be brought inside. Rajasic and tamasic mind you cannot bring inside. It will not cooperate with intellect. Only a sattvic mind can be indrawn. Rajasic mind is ever extroverted. So if the mind is not prepared, you will remain outside only. You have no entry into the secret chambers of yours. That is why a sattvic mind is essential. That is why preparation of the mind is essential. If the mind is not prepared, what will happen? Sit in meditation, snore away to sleep. That is tamasic influence on the mind. What if the mind is rajasic? Wandering of the mind, vikshepa. Laya, vikshepa. Laya means sleep, vikshepa means wandering. So therefore, preparation of the mind is absolutely essential. How to prepare the mind? Eat sattvic food, do sattvic charity, and perform sattvic action. Whatever we have studied till now. Everything should be sattvic, so that the mind is given a sattvic samskara. So such a mind is a very obedient mind, very disciplined mind, cheerful mind, happy mind, divine mind, with full of noble thoughts. Such a healthy mind is absolutely essential for this meditation. To the extent this mind is sattvic, to that extent this problem will not be faced. What is the problem? Yato yato nischarati manas chanchalam asthiram. Now and then the mind will go out, starts thinking about something of the world. At that time what you have to do? Tatastato niyamyetat. Withdraw from that place, that thing, being, situation. Withdraw the mind. Atmani eva vasham nayet. Bring back. Let the attention of the mind turn towards consciousness. Don't try to answer the blabberings of the mind, the chatterings. No, just ignore. You just do this. Turn the attention of the mind towards the self, towards consciousness. Then what will happen? Next verse. Prashantamanasam henam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahma bhutamakalmasham. As the mind turns towards consciousness, what is the nature of consciousness? Ananda Swarupa. As the mind's attention turns towards consciousness, to the extent it has turned towards consciousness, to that extent, these things will start happening. Mind starts experiencing that peace. To the extent you have turned. And to that extent, akalmasham happens. The impurity of the mind starts disappearing. What is impurity of the mind? The tendency to go out. That is called as impurity of the mind. Kalmasha means impurity. That mind becomes akalmasham. That mind becomes shantarajasam. The rajas becomes shanta. That restlessness. Rajas means what? Restlessness. It slowly becomes more and more peaceful. Slowly the desire, sankalpa prabhavan kaman, comes down. Akalmasham. And as the mind settles down, as the mind turns more and more towards the self, as it starts experiencing the bliss of the self, what happens to the mind? Prashanta manasam. Why is now the mind prashanta? Whatever it is desiring, it is there here only. Hare, I am desiring something from the world, but the purpose of all desire is happiness, peace. It is right here. What is the mind desiring? Security. Why? Because it thought the body is insecure. Therefore, the mind was desiring security. And in order to make the body secure, this mind was planning this. The moment the attention goes towards the self, it comes to know, Are, this I, this consciousness is already secure. That which is already secure, do you need security for it? Why is consciousness already secure? Because it is Sat Swarupa. Sat means existence. Existence which can never become non-existent. Insecure means what? When there is a threat towards its existence, then that entity becomes insecure. But here is an entity which is ever existent, which can never become non-existent, which can never die, which can never perish. So therefore the desire for security, what happens to that? Prashanta manasam. Now the desire for happiness. Mind is constantly planning how to get happiness from things being situation. The moment it turns towards the self, the consciousness, it comes to know this consciousness is infinitely blissful. The bliss is the very nature of consciousness. And therefore, consciousness can never become dukkha swarupa. So therefore, happiness is also secured. Existence is secured. Happiness is secured. Everything which I am desiring, already it is there in consciousness. What should happen to the mind? Silence. This is called as prashanta manasam. You see? What happens to sankalpa prabhavan kaman? All kamas disappear. Kama means desires. Mind has no more desire. Because whatever it has desired, it is already there. Then what happens to the mind? Prashanta manasam is nothing but amanasam. A silent mind is a no mind. Because what is the definition of mind? Flow of thoughts. Silent mind, no thoughts. No thoughts equal to no mind. Mind disappears. Because there is no need for the mind. What is the purpose of mind? The purpose is to take care of the welfare and well-being of I. The welfare of well-being of I is already taken care. Because who is this I now? It is not the body now. It is consciousness. Welfare and well-being of consciousness need not be taken care because everything is already there and it is imperishable, immortal, blissful. Now the purpose of mind is not there. The mind becomes prashanta manasam. Mind becomes silent. mind disappears. And when mind disappears, what happens? Brahma Bhutam. That person who is meditating upon Brahman becomes Brahman. Why does he become Brahman? The only obstacle which was separating Jivatma from Paramatma was the mind. That mind disappears. Now what happens? There is no Jivatma, because that Jivatma is nothing but a wrong notion in the mind. Wrong notion in the mind disappears with the mind. What remains? Paramatma. So this yogi becomes Brahma Bhutam. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. In that state, what happens to this yogi? Uttamam Sukham Upaiti. He attains Uttamam Sukham. Uttamam means best. In this world, you have only three Sukham. What are the three Sukham? Tamasic Sukham, Rajasic Sukham, and Sattvic Sukham. Now, it is not Sattvic Sukham. It is Uttamam Sukham. In the beginning, you had Sattvic mind. Now you even transcend the Sattvic mind also. There is no mind. And there, what you experience is infinite bliss. That's why it is called Uttamam Sukham. Remember, Sattvic Sukham is very high, no doubt. Compared to Rajas and Tamas, Sattvic Sukha is indeed good. But it is nothing compared to it is exactly like the sun which is reflected in a mirror. Mirror has got a very, polished surface. That light is like Sattvic Sukham. Sun reflected in a mirror. But that reflected sun, is it any match compared to the original sun? That's why the term used is Uttamam Sukham. Not Sattvic Sukham. In the final stage, you drop the mind also. So therefore we have this very famous example of pole vault, In that pole vault, this person holds the pole, runs, and then as the pole straightens up, what does this person do? He keeps climbing the pole. By the time the pole has become perpendicular to the ground, he is on the top of the pole. After that, what does he do? Drops the pole, jumps across. And this is exactly what we all have to do in spirituality. What is this pole? Mind. What is climbing the pole? From tamas to rajas, from rajas to sattva. Finally, once you have reached the sattvic state, by then the pole is straight. Then what you are supposed to do? Drop the pole. Drop the pole means what? Drop the mind. Drop the mind means what? Transcend the mind. Silence the mind. Bas. This is what we have to do. Remember, dropping the pole is possible only after climbing the pole. Otherwise, not possible. What is the mistake we do? We don't prepare the mind, we want to transcend the mind. You will not succeed. And therefore, if you want to have a successful meditation, fruitful meditation, we have to live an intelligent life. We have to live a morally pure life. We have to walk the path of righteousness. There is no choice. We have to cultivate all noble virtues of life. You see? Many times people say this. See, that yogi, he's such a selfish person. He's only bothered about his own realization. He doesn't bother about the problems of the world. This complaint we see. Is it possible that a person is selfish and attain realization? Not possible. The necessary condition is your mind has to be sattvic. And for that, the necessary condition is you have to learn how to perform action selflessly for the welfare of the world. You cannot be selfish in spirituality. To the extent you are selfish, you will just get stuck at the lower levels. Selfishness and spirituality cannot go together. That is why this saying, Atmano mokshartham jagat hitaya cha. If you want liberation, there is no other way. You have to dedicate your life for the welfare of all. Right. Then what happens to this yogi? See verse number 28. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamasnute evam yunjan. So this meditation has to be done regularly. Sada. Evam atmanam yunjan. Sada yunjan. Make it a habit. What is the habit? Again and again withdraw from the world. Go to the self. Abide in the self. Bask in the bliss of the self. Experience that self. Slowly what happens? Vigata kalmashaha. That little impurity, vasanas, whatever it is there, everything goes away. That extroverted tendency of the mind goes away. Vigata kalmashaha. Because there is a habit in the mind now. Because of so many births. Every time I have sought happiness only outside. So there is a tendency of the mind to go out. This tendency is called kalmasha. Tendency to go out. But again and again when that mind experiences that bliss in the self, what happens? This tendency slowly ends. Because the mind now knows, I don't have to go out. Bliss, happiness, everything is already within. That tendency ends. Remember, any habit can be broken only by a counter habit in the reverse direction. So now we are habituated to going out. We have to create another habit in turning within. That's why the term sada, always. Be regular in your sadhana. Consistent. And slowly, slowly, as you start getting more and more and bliss of that consciousness, the mind loses all attraction for the outer world. Such a mind ever remains peaceful, obedient, introvert, peaceful, contented. And then, sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham ashnute. Such a yogi whose mind is ever abiding in the self. What kind of sukham he experiences? Atyantam sukham. Ati antam. Antam means end. The limit. Atyantam means the ultimate. Ultimate bliss. And where is this bliss coming from? Brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham. Brahma samsparsham. Because of his contact with Brahman. Meaning, the nature of Brahman. What is the nature of Brahman? Satchidananda is the nature of Brahman. And with this practice, sukhena. Sukhena means very easily. With regular practice, very easily this person is able to withdraw his attention from the world, abide in the self, at ease. Right? Then what happens to this yogi? Let us come to chapter 14, verse number 19. Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhigacchati. And with this abidance in consciousness, a great truth is revealed to him. What is that? This consciousness with his Drashta, the seer, the witnessing principle. It has nothing to do with the gunas of the Prakriti. Gunas of the Prakriti means the products of the Prakriti. Prakriti means matter. What is matter? Anything made of 5 elements. What are the 5 elements? Space, air, fire, water, earth. This seer, this consciousness has nothing to do with the world. Not only the external world, the internal world also. This body, the world, the mind, no. Consciousness has nothing to do with any of these things. When this great truth is revealed to him, when he is firmly abiding in this drashta, what happens? Gunebhyascha param veti. He comes to know that he is beyond all these gunas. And then a beautiful statement is made, Mad bhavam saha adhigacchati. Such a person attains to my nature. So when a person attains to the nature of witness, Bhagavan says he attains to my nature. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means that the witness is Bhagavan. Drashta bhavam equal to mad bhavam. So who is Bhagavan? The drashta in us, the witness in us. He is ever there with us, has a very consciousness in us. Why is it that today we are not experiencing him? We are not experiencing because we have ignored him. Ignorance was the problem. So what should be the solution? Paying attention is the solution. A problem is created because you ignored something. So the solution is, don't ignore, start paying attention. This paying attention is meditation. You have lost something, not because you have lost something. You have lost something. In fact, it is only your wrong notion that you have lost something. Actually, you have not lost it at all. It is always there. You don't pay attention, therefore you think you have lost. Apraptaschet praptavyam. Praptaschet nyatavyam. If there is something which you don't have, then yes, you have to work hard and get it. But suppose something is already there, then you have to know it. You have to recognize its presence. And that happens with paying attention. Okay. And now when you pay attention to this self, another great truth is revealed. This is the culmination of Vedanta. What is that? Verse number 16, chapter number 2. Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayorapi drushtontaha, tvanayostattvadarshibhihi. A great truth is revealed. What is the truth? Array, this consciousness alone exists. What is said is, na asataha bhavaha vidyate. That which is unreal don't exist. Sataha abhavaha na vidyate. That which is real can never become non-existent. The real always exists and unreal always never exists. Real always exists, unreal never exists. And what is this unreal now? The whole of this world, this matter, this prakriti. The world, the body, the thoughts, everything, they are nothing but non-existent. What is existing? Only consciousness. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So see the journey. The first that person says, world exists, God doesn't exist. Where is God? Show me God. Noisy person. Blabbering, chattering person. Little beatings in life. Next stage. God also exists, world also exists. Because whenever I prayed, I saw results. God is there, world is there. Next stage. Next stage. Oh, God is a witness in me, the self in me. And the final stage. God alone exists. Which world? There is no world. So these are the different levels of transition. Everybody has to go through these stages. So, to do this meditation, what is the qualification? A sattvic mind. How to develop a sattvic mind? Live intelligently, following the injunctions of the scriptures. The path has been laid out. Brahma Vidyayam, Yoga Shastre, everything is there. You have to just follow the path of the scriptures. The scriptures have beautifully shown us the way. We have to just follow the path. And this path also is beautifully described, expounded, made it clear by the entire Guru Parampara. So indeed we are grateful to this Guru Parampara for this valuable, precious knowledge. And Pujya Gurudev lived it and showed it. Whatever he said here, he has lived it. We need a role model also for us. Just teaching will not do. We need somebody who is walking the path, inspiring us. And that Pujya Gurudev did. And that is why we are celebrating the 108th anniversary of Pujya Gurudev. What is contribution of Pujya Gurudev? Contribution is this. He gave us the scriptures, made us understand the scriptures, removed all doubts regarding spirituality. And the most important thing, he inspired us to walk the path by walking the path himself. This is the most important thing. Inspiring us to walk the path. So on this auspicious occasion, I sincerely invoke the grace of the Lord, the blessings of Pujya Gurudev. May we all walk this path and then attain to that supreme state. When? In this birth itself. Let us try. What is there? Gurudevaya Namo Namo. Gurudevaya Namo Namo. He Parameshwara Namo Namo. Gurudevaya Namo Namo. Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara Rupa. Trimurti Rupa Namo Namo. Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara Rupa. Trimurti Rupa Namo Namo. Trigunatita Namo Namo. Trilokanatha Namo Namo. ഗുരുദേവായ നമോ നമോ. ഭാവാതീതാ ഭാഗ്യവിധാതാ ഭവഭയഹരണാ നമോ നമോ. ഭാവാതീതാ ഭാഗ്യവിധാതാ ഭവഭയഹരണാ നമോ നമോ. ആനന്ദരൂപാ നമോ നമോ. ചിന്മയരൂപാ നമോ നമോ. ഗുരുദേവായ നമോ നമോ. ഹേ പരമേശ്വര നമോ നമോ. ഗുരുദേവായ നമോ നമോ. बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की. ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.